Namaskar. Apologies for the delay. What is happening in Bangladesh is now getting the attention of everybody, including many parliament members in many countries. Today, we are going to talk about what has been happening in United Kingdom, and I welcome my good friend Kumar Bala. He's been very active trying to make this issue raised in the parliament. He is trying to create awareness among people, and we have a small plan to action, call for action for all of you also. We will give you all the information in just one moment. Kumar, namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel. How are you?
Namaskar, Sree. Good to be here. I'm good, and you?
Thank you so much, Kumar, for taking the initiative, contacting your parliament member, and then having him raise this question in the United Kingdom Parliament. Viewers, we are going to show you two videos, starting with his parliament member and then another member also who was kind enough to raise this question. Just watch these two very short videos, and then after that we will talk about creating what is happening, the overall awareness of the situation in Bangladesh, and there are also why they are doing it. We have some ideas. We'll share that also. First, let's take a quick look at the videos.
A number of members of the Hindu community in mid-Buckinghamshire have contacted me deeply concerned about the situation in Bangladesh, and I urge the Minister to take every diplomatic step possible.
Bear with me for a minute. I think it started off in the middle. Let me start from the beginning. And this is 𝗤𝙧𝙤𝘆 MP. Here we go. Challenging the foreign minister to government steps to protect Hindus in Bangladesh. Here we go.
A number of members of the Hindu community in mid-Buckinghamshire have contacted me deeply concerned about the situation in Bangladesh, and I urge the Minister to take every diplomatic step possible to protect Hindus in that country. And in that vein, can I ask her if she believes whether Bangladesh's constitution, which guarantees equal status and equal rights in the practice of religion, does provide for a reliable legal basis through which to domestically prosecute cases of religiously motivated violence?
We stand ready to assist Bangladesh as it goes forward with its difficult roadmap towards elections eventually. And today's question is so important because law and order is crucial at this fragile time. But we are there to be friends, to be supportive, and to provide any legal assistance that we can offer that country as it goes forward.
So that was 𝗤𝙧𝙤𝘆, Member of Parliament for Mid-Buckinghamshire, and I'm going to now play another Member of Parliament asking a similar question. Here we go.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
𝗤𝙧𝙤𝘆.
Many constituents in Aylesbury have raised these concerns about the safety of Hindus in Bangladesh, and they've shown me extremely concerning social media content containing threats to Hindus to leave the country or face extermination. Does the Minister agree that this is unacceptable, and can the Minister outline what representations she has made to the government of Bangladesh to ensure that those who are inciting and perpetrating this violence are held to account?
I thank the Honourable Lady, and she's doing the excellent work representing her constituents who are concerned about these acts of violence. And I want to impress upon her that the UK was one of the first ministerial support to arrive in Dhaka and to speak with the Chief Advisor, Professor Yunus, and to be vocal in support of minorities.
Okay. So those were the two speeches, and Kumar, I'm going to just put up a call to action. Let's take a look at it. Then you can talk to that. What is happening? We are running a campaign. What is the average UK, what is called in British Indian? We have Indian American, but you have British Indian needs to do. This is your duty. This is your responsibility to make sure that the Hindus in Bangladesh are safe. So here is the call to action. I'm just going to show that. Over to you.
Thanks, Sree. So, like most people around the world, the situations in Bangladesh are worrying. It's escalating day by day, and the ongoing pogrom is of concern for most of us, right? So, as citizens of democratic nations, the best we could do is to go and ask our elected representatives, what can we do about this? Can we raise the concern with their counterparts in Bangladesh, right? And particularly countries like United Kingdom, countries like United States and countries like Germany can have a huge impact because they are some of the leading trading partners for Bangladesh. Interestingly, a couple of weeks ago, when Sree 𝗤𝗎𝗄𝗎 was in Oxford, I raised the same point with him about what can be done to get Western governments to do something about it. And his point was that given the fact that these are large trading partners with Bangladesh, putting political pressure from these democratic nations on Bangladesh to do what is constitutionally guaranteed. The freedom of religion is constitutionally guaranteed in Bangladesh, and Western governments can put pressure to get the current Bangladeshi government to stick to it, right? So that is sort of where we started with. And it's not just a few handful of us, it's a large organization within the United Kingdom, particularly championed by Insight UK, as you can see here. The Buckinghamshire Hindu community is always active and constantly engaging with our elected representatives. So we reached out to the two MPs who work closely with us and have been supportive of Hindu causes, both within the United Kingdom and globally. They both took it upon themselves to raise this in the Parliament. So I think both as those of us who are resident in the United Kingdom should follow up with what Insight UK has done, sign up the petition, and so it gets forwarded to your MP, and then the MP can then ask FCDO, which is the equivalent of the External Affairs Ministry, to raise a formal dialogue with their Bangladeshi counterparts on this specific issue. Meanwhile, other Hindus across the globe can show support to these elected officials who take a stance, right? Like just after the presidential election in the United States, or just before the election night, President-elect Donald Trump, in fact, came out and during his 𝗣𝗬𝗖𝗎 message, asked the exact question, what is Bangladesh going to do? And showed his support for stopping this ongoing pogrom, right? And the same thing we've observed with 𝗣𝗬𝗍𝗏 𝗏, who's going to head the Department of Governmental Efficiency. And of course, 𝗠ci heç has said the same thing. So as responsible citizens of democratic countries, the duty is upon us to bring those topics that are of concern to us to our elected representatives, right? So because generally MPs get flooded with lots of different messages and they can only act upon things that are of concern to their constituents. So if we don't raise our concerns, it will not be heard. So I'm requesting those who are residing in the United Kingdom to please go and sign to the Insight UK petition and make this issue and make this a major concern for our elected representatives, right? That is the way to bring about change in any democratic system.
Thank you so much. And now let's take a quick look at how this is going to play out. Viewers, what we are going to do is, even at the top of this comment section, we are going to pin this thing. So those of you who are watching it from the United Kingdom, a request to all of you to click on that link and voice your concern and just sign your name and whichever constituency you are from. That would really help, because then the organization that's collecting all your data, they will be able to route it to the proper member and for action. And one small thing I noticed, Kumar, is in her reply to Greg, the minister, she said something about we are going to facilitate elections and so on and so forth. The question that I have is, the legitimacy of Sheikh Hasina government is still valid. She has not resigned. She has fled for safety. That doesn't mean that the Muhammad Yunus, or she wants to call him Professor Muhammad Yunus, that is a legitimate government. It is not. At this point of time, India has not accepted this one. US has been very quick to recognize it. We all know that US is behind this whole thing. We know that. So let's try and see how this thing is going to play out. Kumar, my 2 cents, because I've been making a lot of inquiries, is the deep state in United States is in deep doo-doo. Doo-doo, you know what it is. It's a 4-letter word, very famously used, starts with the letter S. And they are trying their best to somehow create some sort of a problem and have the elements, lumpen elements, to go after Hindus in Bangladesh in the hope of getting a rise from India. And India has been very restrained. The one thing they did try to do was, they didn't do it. Adani did it, because he has not been paid $1 billion worth of past electricity dues. And for that, China appears to have helped Nepal. Nepal has who knows? They have a lot of power. They said that we are going to use India's grid to get power to Bangladesh. Well, looks like they're also very generous. They don't even expect anything back in return. Well, good luck to them. Now, India, I am told, that is still not actually stopping the essentials that go from there. India sends them, smuggles out, not India, but these guys smuggle in buffaloes. They need chicken, that comes from India. Eggs comes from India, rice comes from India, onions, potatoes, you name it. I wonder what exactly are they doing in Bangladesh. Whatever it is, at this point of time, India can really easily squeeze the spigot without even taking any action. On the other side, if you look at it, one 𝗏𝗂𝘂, ex-𝗏𝗂𝘂, I should say, preacher has been arrested. 3 more people who went to give him food, they have also been arrested. And the reason for arrest is very unclear and very muddy. 63 brahmacharis who were trying to leave Bangladesh for India with valid visas were stopped at the border. So Bangladesh is trying everything possible, every mischief possible. And Yunus is what? He's a novice as far as politics is concerned. And as to his cabinet, what? These people just got out of diapers and they want to rule the country. I'm brutal, because I don't believe personally that students' job is to enter into politics. They don't know the depth. They get in and then they just drown. That's all my 2 cents on it. So this is where things stand. Kumar, please feel free to add, and thanks for pointing out that Vivek Ramaswamy, 𝗤𝙁𝘗 𝗣𝗚𝗏, as well as Donald Trump have expressed concerns about the state of Hindus, and I'm yet to hear Kamala Harris utter a word. Shame on you. Over to you.
Yes, PG. Interestingly, the Indian government has always been cautious in dealing with our neighbors, right? Like, for example, in dealing with Sri Lanka and dealing with Maldives, they've always been a bit soft, and eventually got around to getting them to see the world in the way we do. And I'm not 100% sure they still do, Sri Lanka and Maldives, but at least it is far more productive now than it was a few months ago, right? So my guess would be that given the demographics of Bangladesh and sort of the big land border that we share with them, the government is really cautious not to ruffle too many feathers, right? Because a critical situation at this juncture is something that nobody wants, right? Given the global economic situation, the government is like really treading very carefully. But on the other hand, people who are living in the West, like Hindus and others as well, who are living in the West, should do our best to keep this as a focal point of attention for lawmakers across the world. Right? Interestingly, it's not just the Hindu community that has raised this issue. The Oxford Jewish Congregation wrote a letter in support of Hindus in Bangladesh who are facing persecution. Right. So a lot of other communities within UK and the US have voiced support for this. Right. So my sort of view on this is that while the Indian government tries to navigate this situation and get to a scenario where we can mitigate any sort of the sort of violence that civilians faced in 1970s, we shouldn't go anywhere near that, right? So the Indian government is really careful about not getting into a situation where it's large scale refugees and crisis is something that we need to avoid. But at the same time, we have something that we didn't have in the 70s, right? We have a diaspora that is highly influential. We have a voice in the West. We have MPs and senators and congressmen and even presidents and prime ministers who are willing to listen to our concerns, right? So what we are asking for is upholding international law such as freedom to practice religion, freedom to stop a pogrom is the least that we should be able to do. If we don't do this and then we drop the ball because all elected representatives are busy with multiple issues that they have to face on a daily basis, right? If we don't constantly keep raising this issue, it is going to go to a back burner, which is what we shouldn't do. We should keep this as a primary focus point so that the Bangladeshi government and the authorities are aware that the international community is looking at them. They cannot escape scrutiny and cannot escape international law when it comes to treatment of all religious minorities in Bangladesh. Right? So I think there is a lot that as diaspora we can do to make sure the international law and order is upheld.
Thank you so much, Kumar. And viewers, there are a lot of people from Bangladeshi origin settled in Britain for a long time. And in fact, I think the son of Khalida Zia is living in UK. And we want at least 100 MPs to start asking this question. This is the beginning of a long trip. So please don't think that, oh, two MPs have already asked the question, that therefore action is going to happen. Action is not going to happen so soon. We need you. Just click on this link. Please express your concerns. You're watching PGurus, you're watching other channels. This is just not on. We are a civilized society. Human life has a value, and this is just abhorrent that they are trying to do all these things while still enjoying life, which is at the expense of the Indian taxpayer. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you so much, Kumar. And viewers, please look out for the links. It's going to be pinned at the top of this comments in this YouTube link, video. And please do your duty, and let's save our Hindu brothers and sisters. Thank you so much. Namaskar.
Dhanyavad.